Hey, let's recap Person of Interest, Season 4, Episode 4, entitled Brotherhood. So, as I predicted, now that we've got a stable team and a stable location, we are moving into deeper storylines, mainly a new villain. So, before it was HR, and then we had Samaritan, and now Samaritan is up and running, and we got the gang Brotherhood. So this is run by a guy named Dominic, who, according to Elias, is one tough dude who he's had some problems with. The episode kind of starts out with Reese tracking down this gang called Brotherhood, and there was a drug deal with the Armenian drug dealers and Brotherhood, and people got shot, things happened. So Reese is on the scene, and it turns out that their new numbers, they got two new numbers, they're 14-year-old and 10-year-old kids, and they stole the drug money from the crime scene. And so Reese is tracking them down because of the case he's working on and because these kids are the new numbers. Because Brotherhood is after their money, therefore they're after the kids. So the guys need help. So Harold goes on a train to have a secret meeting with Elias. And, he tells them all about Brotherhood and about their leader Dominic and how they're a threat. And he notices that, they changed careers, what's going on with that? So Elias is very keen, and he wants to know what's going on. Harold at first is like, not telling you anything. So the kids use the money to buy new clothes because they want to impress a lawyer and hire him to get their mom out of prison. Now we learn later that their mom's in prison because of Malcolm got an illegal weapon and police found it in their house. And so kind of the mantra of this episode is, if you want to be the man, you gotta have a plan. And so Reese and Malcolm kind of bond over this as they go through their little adventure. This includes Lennox, Detective Lennox, who's from DEA, and she, is kind of with Reese on this. They're working on the case together. She turns out to be a mole. She actually double-crossed them once they get the kids to safety, and she took the money and ran, but it's okay because Brotherhood killed her by the end of the episode. So in the middle of this, Shaw captures a guy who was in the ambulance, who was in a drug accident. They assume he's hired muscle, and he calls himself Minnie, and she, uses her charming tactics to make him cuff himself to poles and beat information out of him. Since she finds that the drugs are stashed in a laundromat, which is their secret headquarters, which Harold later gives to Elias as a thank you. So they end up in this hostage situation, because you got Malcolm trying to be the man and, give himself to the Brotherhood because they use a lot of corner guys who take the fall for some of their stuff. And he's in the car, and then Reese is like, I'll get in the car. If you want your money, gotta get the kid out. So Reese is in the car, and then Shaw comes up and threatens to blow up their drugs in a fire. And so Reese gets released. Turns out they don't have the money, and Minnie is left with the drugs. He was pretty cool in the hostage situation. He didn't even break a sweat on that phone. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a gun to my head. My phone's ringing. Gotta take this, sorry. Hey, how was the fishing trip? It's for you. Don't mind the gun to my head. Now, here's the thing. The guys in the car holding Reese hostage, that wasn't Dominic. Dominic is actually Minnie, the guy that Shaw was holding captive, who she thought was hired muscle. Now, I don't know why I didn't notice this before, but Minnie, clearly a nickname for Dominic, but it's one of those, twists at the end of the episode. It's pretty cool. It turns out that he was kind of letting the scene play out, because he wanted to see what Shaw did and how she and Reese played off each other, because he's gonna, start getting information on their little ragtag team of vigilantes. So at the end, Harold is with Elias again on the subway and hands him a book called The Invisible Man. Now, this is kind of a hint as to what's going, is you need to try to become invisible in the eyes of Samaritan, so all the surrounding cameras, because they're now what's in charge. And they're 10 million times more dangerous than the machine was. Brotherhood is also going to be extremely dangerous because, as their leader Dominic says, everyone ends up dead. It's going to cause a lot of problems for Reese, definitely in his new police position. His position as a cop is really good for storytelling, because he's kind of like in the know about everything, so he can know things about their numbers. He's got Fusco right behind him. Unfortunately, he also has his chief right behind him. Kind of reminds me of a situation in Grimm, when Nick Burkhardt is a cop, but he's also Grimm, so he's got the inside track on all the vests. And same thing with Reese here. He's got, the inside track on all the numbers, and he's probably going to use this intel to take down Brotherhood, because it was, harder to take down HR when they had just Fusco and Carter on the inside. But now they got him on the inside, and he is just quick-witted. So other than Samaritan, we got another antagonist to look out for. Alright, next week, guys. Bye.